This is Dad's Wallet, where we help you save money and build lasting wealth. Today we're going to be breaking down many different ways to save for a new baby. This could be something coming up in your future or some other big expense, houses, cars, vacation. So think of this as an exhaustive list that's going to be helping you save for those large expenses coming up on your horizon that you're planning for. The first item on saving for a new baby is going to be, do you have at least $20,000 in savings? This is a round number and an estimate, but first you'll probably have to pay some out-of-pocket expense for having this baby. Now, typically, delivery costs range from $30,000 to $50,000 or greater. And if you don't have insurance, then that could be out of pocket for you. Now, a normal pregnancy typically costs that, and it averages around $4,500 with insurance coverage. But many costs out there aren't going to be included. And if you're a parent that is at risk or has some other circumstances around the pregnancy that could add to that expense, you want to be trying to plan ahead for that and speaking with your doctor on what to expect coming down the road. Now, plan to have at least $20,000 in the bank above and beyond what kind of emergency fund you set aside for your family. And that's just an estimate. Maybe breaking down some of these future items and categories that we're going to be discussing is going to help you really hone in on what that number is. Second thing to consider when having a new baby is your debt under control. Now, if not, aim to have your debt at manageable levels. This means paying down especially those high interest loans. And keep in mind, expenses add up and they can be urgent. And so having a child can create a situation where you can cause debt to compound if you're not managing it appropriately. Chipping away at it before the baby shows up is going to give you a lot of peace of mind and is going to make everything go smoother. Third thing to consider when having a baby, will your loved ones help with childcare? One of the biggest expenses when having a child is going to be childcare. If you have to return to work, for you, your partner, or both, having a close friend, family member that can share in some of the childcare is going to make the situation much easier for you. Raising a child without family nearby is totally possible. But you're going to have to start researching daycares, nannies, and different sort of parenting co-op situations where you can find solutions that fit your budget in your area. Infant care for brand new babies can be as cheap as $200 a week all the way up to $600, $700, $800 a week. And so it's totally going to depend on your area and what kind of services you need. So start doing that research now. Fourth thing to consider when having a new baby, is someone going to throw you a shower? Shower is a great tradition in American culture where we're going to be receiving gifts as new parents, or the community gathers around and, like a village, is going to be providing support for that growing family. This could be car seats, strollers, bouncers, and all these things are going to cost thousands of dollars and really add up, especially if you're not frugal and buying secondhand. Now, at bare minimum, you're going to need to consider a brand new car seat just for safety and peace of mind purposes. So that expense alone is going to be a few $100s and is a perfect example of something that people can pitch in for, and you can help raise that money from loved ones, friends, and family around you. And so don't think of a shower as a situation where you're going to have to feel like charity or like greedy in any way. If you approach it with a posture of, this is an opportunity for everyone around me to be able to provide at whatever level they're comfortable with and whatever they want to provide to help support us, I think that this is a great opportunity for you to celebrate a new baby coming down the road into your life, and think of this as a way for you to be able to have an open hand and accept other people's generosity. Please take this moment to like, follow, comment, subscribe. This interaction with these posts, it directly translates into support for me and my understanding of what you appreciate and value from this content. Fifth thing to consider when having a baby. Do any of your friends close by have babies? If you're buying clothes for yourself, it's hard to resist, and it's doubly hard to resist when you're buying clothes for a new child in your family. I know this personally, and I know that we've benefited from friends and family around us who are one step ahead of us in life and have hand-me-down clothes that we're able to use for our child. This is also something that if you don't know anyone personally, maybe you just moved into a new area, this is something where you can find online with Facebook Marketplace, with Instagram, with all kinds of different solutions out there, different neighborhood community boards and things like that that you can be finding some of these resources that is going to severely offset your upfront cost for being able to provide what this baby needs. And borrowing clothes and toys, plus maternity outfits and different sort of equipment that you need for different stages of life, it's going to save you big money. And it's not something uncommon. Don't feel uncomfortable with asking, hey, is there any way that I could borrow that for a few months? I'll be happy to give it back. Maybe they're expecting to have another child down the road years from now. But this is something they may say, please take it off our hands. We love for someone to be able to use it. And so really consider the different communities and networks of support that are around your growing family. Number 6 on our list when planning for a new baby, consider if you're going to be nursing or bottle feeding, or if you're going to be exclusively using formula or some combination of the two. Not only is nursing incredibly healthy, and there's a lot of studies out there to support using breast milk, but you'll also save at least $1,500 just in the first year alone by using what God's already given you to provide nutrients for your baby. And so really consider the cost of some of those little things that tend to add up. And what we do personally is a combination of the two. And so there's many times where formula is super helpful in a pinch. I can think of last night as a specific example. My wife has a work event. She's out in the evening, meeting with some other people out in the community. And I'm here having to feed with a bottle, and it's not a bad thing. If anything, it's a great opportunity to be able to do both. This is a bonding time for your baby, for both partners in the relationship. And using a combination of the two, you shouldn't be worried about that as a solution. There's both of those options are there for you. Just consider the cost and implications of either or both. The 7th thing to consider when having a new baby is what not to buy. This list is growing pretty quickly, and there's a lot of things that are being added on that you're going to need to accumulate throughout the process. But there's plenty of things that are out there that are just gimmicks and unnecessary or downright dangerous. For example, you may be gifted or you may be inclined to go out and buy crib pillows, crib bumpers, bassinets that have like those solid fabric sides. They're possibly cute and maybe something that you wanted to have as an idea of comfort, but they're completely useless and downright dangerous. So that's one example of something that can be a hazard to your child, and maybe one generation ago was a trendy thing, but it's something that you probably want to set aside, especially for infants and those newborns. There's plenty of other toys out there and different things that you may think that your baby needs for stability and strength and comfort, and just to be able to try to be as compassionate a parent as possible, but really consider the implications on what your baby is going to need developmentally stage by stage, and really consider whether or not that money would be best put towards some of these gimmicky items and toys and tools out there versus the true basic necessities that's going to help them become the happiest, healthiest child down the line. When it comes to things like diapers, think big. Now, when you're planning to have a new baby, lugging home one of those like 200-300 count cartons of diapers from Costco or Sam's Club, it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna be saving hundreds of dollars a year, because some of those diapers, when you look at the cost per diaper, it's sometimes half or a third as much as buying individual packs of 50 or 60. 50 or 60 sounds like a lot. Trust me, it's not. These things are going to grow exponentially. If you got 2 kids under 2 like we did for a little while, that's a lot of diapers, and it's time to buy in bulk for some of those items. When planning for a new baby and buying all these cool things out there, keep in mind where you're going to be going and some of the different tools that are actually going to be useful. Now, I suggest keeping a baby care kit bag in each car. So if you and your loved one has 2 separate cars, or maybe a grandparent is going to be carting around the kids a lot, go ahead and create a bespoke baby care bag. Make sure it contains at least 3 diapers. Go ahead and put 6 to 10 in there. A tube of ointment. I love Aquaphor. I don't know what's in there other than like maybe the lanolin and the Vaseline, but man, that stuff is amazing. Travel pack of wipes, extra outfits for you and your child, especially if they're drinking from a bottle and you got those spit up situations. And if your child eats solid foods, make sure you pack snacks, teething toys, some of those vegetable puffs. Really go ahead and take care of the child and take care of a travel kit, and make sure that you've got one wherever the child's going and in transit in between. When you plan ahead for some of those things and you start to really make your purchases intentionally and consciously of where your child's going to be and what their needs are going to be, you'll start to see where the value is. And so I suggest buying these items in bulk, divvying them up, and really in all categories and areas, when you're planning for a new baby, be conscious and conscientious of where the baby's going and what their needs are going to be. Location by location, stage by stage. These are the kind of things that are going to make your life easier and is going to save you money in the long run.